Peace and prosperity be unto all who's listening and watching. It's your girl, Shaeranea, right? And today I'll be dropping my first podcast audio. And also, I'm going to speak on a little bit about representation. Yesterday I talked about the misrepresentation of self and, how that can be misinterpreted in this society in which we live. Representation of self is just basically being the reflection of all you say you want, all you say you ask, all you think, all you believe, and being that in your everyday life. And it's being someone who you would see, you want your kids to be inspired by, you want your younger self, who would your younger self looked up, been inspired by, if it had somebody like a mentor or whatever, somebody you see that you can believe in, that just make an impact. I don't really personally believe that you should look up to people because, everybody's imperfect. We're all imperfect. And, yes, people have done remarkable things. And we all are going to do remarkable things if we plan to, if we actually act upon them. I don't really get the point in, looking up to people, idolizing people and making them seem like, wow. They're not, it's not like the hype. The hype is too whatever. So I don't really get the point of that, because we're all imperfect and we're all, spirits having a human experience. We're all on this journey figuring it out. So what's the point? You're just as imperfect as the next person. No one's better than each other. And we all live to fulfill our goals and fulfill our dreams and whatever we're here purpose to do. So personally, I don't believe in looking up to people, but I do get inspired by people. See something that someone done and find it inspirational, and I might get really happy about what someone done. I'm like, oh, that's so great what they done. But as far as idolizing and egging people on and saying I looked up to you, I mean, that's a bunch of baloney for people like me. Somebody who's very strong in my identity and truly believe in myself. I don't see the purpose in that. But let's move on, and we're going to talk about reality versus expectations, reality versus dream, reality versus anything. So reality is just the ability to be able to accept what things really are. How things happen in your life, instead of expecting it to be something different than what it really is and making it up to be something that it's not. I believe that's the biggest problem in society and with people. People want things to be something that it's not, and switch it up in their minds to be something that it isn't. And because they thought on it so long, and it should have been this, and why wasn't it that? And you focus so much energy on what it should have been instead of focusing energy on what it was and what it really is. You know what I'm saying? So the difference between people who live in a dream and people who live in reality is people who live in reality has the ability to accept things as they are, rather than what they make up in their mind, what they make themselves believe. And they don't live in deception. They don't live in the lie. They don't live in the lie of society. They live beyond that. And people who want something better, want something great for themselves, live beyond the expectations of this world, because there's no expectation that can justify how great you really are. Expectations limits your growth, and if you got expectations and standards on who you are as a person, yes, set the bar high to do great things. Do extraordinary things if that's what you're about. I'm about extraordinary things. I'm about doing things, helping people, and just being positive. But even though I'm a positive spiritual person, I also know that as an intellectual person, you have to be realistic about things. You can't just sit there and make things what they are not, and like that. So you just have to be realistic about things in life. Expectations are the destruction of oneself, because in a sense, it's kind of like when a person make promises to you, and they're not somebody who's aligned with their words and their actions, and their words and everything's all in contradictory. When somebody tells you they're gonna do something and they don't do it, or they don't, it gives you this hope. It gives you this hope to believe that the person will do what they say. Now, if you don't personally see the person's actions, if you've never seen this person move, or the words and the actions be the justification of be the proof for you, then you can never just say that that person would not do what they're going to say, what they're saying. So in reality is like, they may disappoint you, and you have to accept the fact that people are going to disappoint you. But if you don't have all these expectations for people to fulfill what they say, yeah, you want people around that's going to do what they say they're going to do. That's great. But don't put expectations on it, because expectations leave you to believe. If that's somebody you care about, you definitely going to have some strong belief and some desire and hope in yourself to like believe in them that they will do what they're going to say. But in this is deception, because deception of it is disappointment. And when you get disappointed, you feel pain, you feel hurt, and it comes to a split world of reality and dream. And you have to separate the two, because the person you made up in your mind this person could be is totally different from the reality of who they are. And that's the same with living on a daily basis. Who are you? Are you a reality based person? Are you somebody who is realistic about everything that you do, everything you think, that everything that you are you the representation of what you say that you want and you are? Or are you somebody who's like a dreamer? You all in the mind of your dreams, and you're not really about what you say. You speak on it, but you don't act upon it. Are you somebody who's about it, or are you somebody who's not about it? So the biggest thing in this world is you just want to be able to fulfill what you say. Fulfill what you say, because words are the power of manifestation. And we could talk about manifestation on another day, but right now we're going to talk about reality and expectations and dreams, and how these things all intertwine, and how important it is not to put so much hope in something that may in the long run disappoint you, right? Because in life, you're likely to have change situations based on circumstances and choices that people make, and based on shortcomings, right? So things are constantly changing. If you're constantly persistent towards your dreams and goals, hardships will always come. Adversary will always be there, and there's nothing that you can overcome if you have in your mind to overcome it. You just got to keep moving forward. If you don't have that forward going mindset, you're likely to stay stuck in a depression or dwell in a moment of doubt. Doubt it's not a good thing. It's wrestling with the dragon of oneself. It's wrestling with the darkness, okay? You're dancing with the darkness of the dragon. And the thing about that is, if you're dancing with doubt, you dancing with doubt, so you lack insecurity. I mean, you have insecurity, not lack. You have insecurity and you lack confidence. So with this being said, you have to work on you. So why are you so doubtful of yourself to a point where you're in disbelief? Are you a person that, what my biggest thing about society, I believe that if people had to believe based on no results at all, they would not believe at all. But because we have a bunch of results of, proof of things to be believed in, that's the only reason why a lot of people believe in the things that they believe, because they've seen it and they've experienced it all their life, and they've seen their parents do it, and they've seen these people do it. And that's the reason why belief systems are hard to change, and that's why it's hard for people to get out of fixed mindsets, because people are so focused on staying the same instead of waking up to the realisticness of what's really going on. So don't live in a dream world reality. Live in the real moment, the real now, the real you, the real society. Don't pretend to be something you're not. Okay? Don't live a lie. Don't live a lie forever. Don't live a lie at all. Really be who you are, and trust your ability to, overcome things, because, you're going to experience a lot of hardships. If you're pursuing anything, you're going to experience hardships. I mean, it's bound to happen. It's supposed to happen. It's a part of the pursuit in which you desire. So you should expect hardships, not, run away from them. And then anytime that you face any adversary, you would want to face head on, right? So be somebody who is realistic, and somebody who's not pretending to be something they are not, to be living up to society's standards or expectations. Really learn who you are and love yourself. And I know I talk about loving yourself and caring and all that good stuff. I know I talk about that a lot in my videos, but I mean, it's so important. It's so important. And when people get back to that point of self-evolution and self-evolving, not revolving, evolving, when they get to that point where they just be in love with themselves, because to love yourself, man, that is some powerful stuff. Like, you don't even know how powerful it is to be in love with yourself. And if you're somebody who's not even at that point, it's so empowering. It's a good feeling to love yourself, to love the flaws, to love the imperfections, to love the mistakes, to love all of who you are. And then that's the most powerful thing about living, is learning how to love yourself and being able to love other people and be able to help people in that sense. So just be who you are, and learn who you are already, because we already come in the form of knowing things, but we yet already know who we are, because we're born in this world with the knowledge, but yet learning how to apply it. So we have to relearn everything that we already know within ourselves, but it takes time, because as a baby, even if you already know all these things, you still have to learn. So it comes by the experience, and all the things from experience come out like a flood. So just be an ever-flowing river of knowledge, and be somebody who's willing to learn, willing to listen, willing to, change, and be willing to do different things, and be optimistic for the future. The now is the manifestation of the future, so make sure that you're focused on the now, and don't give up on your dreams, and make sure that you're consistent and focused, and never let the things in life make you feel worryful, because all that worry and anxiety will cause you stress and leave you old, and you don't want to be old. Who wants to be old? I mean, yeah, it's good to be old in age, but you don't want the look of it. It's okay to know that you went through hardship, but you don't want to look like your hardships. It's okay to know that you've been through hard times, but you don't want to look like hard times. Okay, just treat yourself accordingly. Treat yourself very well. Love yourself accordingly, appropriately, effectively. This channel is about love, and this channel is about, frequencies and vibrations. It's about, raising the frequencies to a higher level, and, giving knowledge to the people and educating people on self. Self is the evolution of spirituality. So when everybody gets informed with who they really are, then nobody can ever be really lost.